Hello tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos, another pop-up one. I apologise for the creaky chair. I'm just working on some AB 18mm metal Prussians from the early part of the Napoleonic Wars. So, you know, Jena Auerstadt, Battle of, around 1806. Cuirassier, did I just say that? I can't remember. So what I'm doing is, let's get something on very slowly. I must have had these at least 6 or 7 years, if not more. I bought them ages ago. So they come as obviously a horse like that and a rider. Usual bits of worms and flash and whatever. And what I try and do, or what I'm trying to do, put a bit more time into them, and I'm replacing the sabres with a metal one. So what I use for that, I'm not going to do a demo here. I mean, if anybody wants a demo, I can probably do one at some stage, but not at the moment. I just want to crack on. This was just, I thought I'd show you what I was doing. So I use just the large wire paper clips. You can get away with using the smaller ones. And I don't have, my pliers don't, these are quite hard, which is good so they don't bend, but I don't try and flatten them out with any implements apart from the trusty Dremel, and I use a Dremel, and I haven't got the parts, but the usual type of grinding wheels. I just flatten them out. Sorry about the crispy bag, but I've got a few ones that I'm using to mount sabres in them, and they turn out, can't see them obviously with all the background clutter, but they turn out like that because these are the slightly easier ones to do. You don't have to have the curve on them like a light cavalry sword. They tend to be straight with a point because these would be stuck straight in somebody's chest. This bit here is just spare. I do make them very slightly longer, just because I like the look of them, than the white metal ones. I just think they look more the part. But especially for cuirassiers and dragoons, all those big heavy sabres, I think that's the way I'm trying to look at it. So yeah, I just flatten them out. They don't have to be wafer paper thin because obviously then you just make them as flexible as the white metal that they're getting rid of. So there's a slight bend there, but that'll disappear. I'll measure that, clip it off, and then I just file slightly. And I drill. So I'll chop one. I don't think I've got one. No, I haven't got one pre-done, but chop them off there. It's white metal. It'll just cut them off with a sharp scalpel. And then I drill. I use a Dremel. I don't use a hand drill. I just put it on a low speed. I drill down. I use a 0.7mm drill bit. Now these have actually been holding together quite well. You do get some that snap really easy, but these seem to be quite good. But I drill down nice and easy and as straight a point as I can get it. So it's, forgive the dirty fingernails, I'm doing these for a few hours. Yeah, and then I just, if I do need to, I'll either clean it out by hand with then another drill, or at the same diameter, or I'll just keep going until it's hollowed out enough. I do that. So this guy here, he's the officer. I drill these are all blocked in the reins, so like this guy here, solid. So I drill the reins out. There are some poses in these you can't always do it when they're really close to the neck, but that doesn't matter because the neck's obviously through the reins almost. So yeah, so I take that out. Quite often with the ABs you'll get a lot of crud in between the legs at the back part of the horse that needs drilling out. This one doesn't have. I haven't touched this one yet. No, you usually tell because I'll just put a file over the base as well. So yeah, just use my scalpel. Use these. I prefer diamond files. These are actually fairly blocked up and worn now. I should do with changing them, especially this needlepoint one. I prefer the round ones because they tend not to put a flat edge on stuff. I also, let's just see if we've got, I'll cut underneath the scabbard and try and cut out some of the clunky metal there as well with a drill, which I've done, but I've made it a bit thin there. Sorry, it's picking up all the background clutter. This is only a pop-up video. But yeah, I'll drill out the space between that. You just tighten it up a bit. I did think of doing some head turning, but to be fair, the heads are roughly, you know, there's a lot. You watch what I was going to do. Oh no, he is turned. I won't do it for the sake of it, you know, not just to sell tickets on myself. Oh, look what I've done. There's got to be a reason for it. The same with the plumes on these guys. They're quite well defined. I don't see the sense in knocking them off and making another one. What I've done though is, rather that these always have a problem, if you can say, of the shabraque never actually shuts around the horse tightly. So what I've been doing, a la like the 54mm one, is showing some movement in them and just bending them up. Not on every one of them. On some I have shut, and I will be putting some filler around the further in to hide some of the gaps. You can't do it too much on this because obviously it would look weird on the horse. But so on some of these I've actually opened them up rather than tried to shut them. So we've got here with this guy, say all these have been replaced. All these, there's only 3 of them so far. There's this guy here. And there was a big bar, supporting bar on here, which always is on this pose, so cut him off. So he'll be slightly, you've got to be a bit careful with some of them. If you cut the supporting bars off, it doesn't matter. So, I mean, I could do that flat, but I'll be covering it over. And then I cut up the sides of the scabbards again, and obviously between the scabbard and the boot there's always a bit of infill. But as I say, there's not a lot of, I'll sometimes twist, it's an easy thing, just twist the tail slightly. See the gap there, that always needs a bit of filling, that's what I'm saying. It never sits properly, and even when you filled it, it doesn't look 100%, but it's better than not. One of these I managed to, there we go, this guy here. I use this sparingly, but obviously not that sparingly, as I took a chunk out. So that's got to have a bit of filler on. And I'll also be maybe putting, I think the tassels are a bit small on these, so I'm going to be putting some tassels on the ends of the bicorn. But really, it's really enjoyable little project. I've only got 9 of them. I thought I'd bought more, but I haven't. I mean, I've got a ton of stuff to do. As in, I've got obviously more. I bought a sprue of Epic just to change from doing the French. We have, I'm not going to show you the flat because he'll have his own. Obviously I've got these guys basing at the moment, more Epic. And I just thought, you know what, I've wanted to do these. I've got this client that commissioned me before for the Epic has commissioned me for another unit. But he's quite happy to hold back for a week or so, to even before I start it. So he's not in no rush, as he said. So I just thought I'd do these. They've been in me little baggies for years, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna snip those blades off, make some decent blades out of them. That's the problem with white metal. You've just got to, if you're going to do all this, things that I recommend, obviously some type of Dremel type device. I use that. Often they'll come with, like, I mean, these have been specially bought for other things, but I use these for cutting metal where needed. I also use, I've got different blades as well. I've junior hacksaws and fret saws. As I say, you need your files, but diamond files I always find are the best. A couple of different scalpels. That's a Swan Morton one. I was having a right trouble getting Swan Morton blades, so I bought some of these, which are just as good. Look at those on eBay. Rounded one there. Anything else, Gav? I'll pin vise with a larger drill bit, but I don't, to be honest with you, I've not been using that on this project. As I say, I use these great big staples, paper clips, because these are what you'll see me mounting, like that 54mm Lancer. He's mounted on something like that, and I get so much. Talk about recycling is always in the news these days. Well, I recycle these, chobbling away at them, making them into sabres and goodness knows what. So Yeah, and obviously a selection of your, these will break at an alarming rate. They haven't on this project so far, but they can do so. A couple of boxes, they're not expensive. Obviously ruler, just literally, I don't even bother taking out the packet on this one, just like that. I have got a micrometer and all that, but that's just good with that. Big flat engineering file I use for cleaning the bases off. And until we get to obviously like your usual type of milliput type fillers, magic sculpt, something like that for any bits that, as I say, I went a bit over enthusiastic on the one guy's scabbard and thinned it a bit too much in one place, so it needs a bit of infill. And funny enough, the stuff I was taking out. So yeah, that's about all you need really. But as I said, a Dremel is, well, I say a Dremel, other makes, you know, whatever you, those Prussian, those expensive ones, and the cheap ones you can get from B&Q, whatever floats your boat. I'm not going on anything like taking necks off horses and moving heads around in different places. Yeah, I have thought about that one, but I doubt I'll go down that road on this. I'd do it for one-offs, I think, like little command stands just to make them look different. That's about it. Yeah, I mean, even there's not a lot of, you know, I'd say it's not conversion for conversion's sake. You know, I mean, this guy, what you need to do is, you see, you always get this infill here. So it keeps wanting to focus on the desk, but yeah, you need to go up there. These guys would normally have a rounded, as far as I remember, a rounded saddle shabriquet, or so I'll just round off the point there. But that definitely needs cleaning out. And I tend to find you can do it just as well with a drill bit. You don't have to have all the, let's take your finger, because these will, for Pete's sake, if you're going to use anything like this, have a care what you're doing, and definitely if you're under the age of 18 or 17, whatever the thing is, don't get somebody else to do it, because this will remove your fingers easy. But you know, these guys here, doing it gently, chain drill down, and then use your scalpel to remove any residue. There we go. Just thought I'd show them. Can't even say what Cuirassier regiment they're going to be yet. I have been looking in my Jena Auerstadt book. I've got a couple of ideas, but there's no point shouting about it yet. But I think I've only got 9 of these. I'm just going to go and take, once I've done these, I'll have a dive and just check I've got a separate bag, but I don't think I have. So I'm probably going to end up having to get another few just to make a unit up to, obviously these are going to be painted and sold, so yeah, I can guarantee after I've painted all these I'm going to still need a few more figures. But it's just I just fancy doing it on the side. I've had them that long and I've wanted to do them for so long. I just thought I'd bite the bullet and get them done, so I can prime these along with all those other stuff. So I've got some 28mm Warlord, no, not Warlord, Atlantic Games 95th rifles or 60th rifles, whatever you want to use them for. They're coming. They should be with me Monday or Tuesday. We'll have a look at that sprue, and they'll get painted as well, because you can never have too much on the go at once. Right, look after yourselves, guys. Thanks for joining in if you have done and haven't taken a look at the video. Much appreciated. I'm going to get back to drilling my fingers, trying to remove me tops of my fingers, splattering the place with blood. Apart from that, they're going well. So look after yourselves. Enjoy the week that's coming up, and we'll catch each other very soon, and it will be soon, on another video.